Hello. If you've seen our channel before, you know that we talk a lot about drone data, AI, and everything that's happening in the industry. And so in this particular video, we want to actually go through a particular workflow. We want to go through a workflow of how do you actually sit down and inspect a facade using drone data. Now, we made a completely different video before, which actually goes through the end-to-end process on how you would go and do your flight planning and how you would do your data processing and how you would do your data analysis. But over here, we just want to focus on a very specific workflow, which is, let's say you've already got all the data, and let's say you've got all the data processed into a 2D map or a 3D model. What do you do next? We'll have a look in this video. Hey everyone, I'm Varun from Hammer Missions, and in this particular video, what we're going to do is we're going to walk you through the process of actually sitting down and inspecting a facade using drone data. Let's have a look. Right, so as you can imagine, we're going to use Hammer Missions for this particular workflow. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at inspecting this particular facade in front of me. So it's a 24-story building, as you could probably tell from the number over there on the top right. Inspecting this building can be quite a challenge. I mean, if you think about the conventional method, you would have to get some form of rope access, or you would have to get some form of, difficult access method to inspect this particular facade. But with drones, you've been able to capture it in a way that actually allows for modeling the whole building. Now, one of the things that happens is when you're looking to inspect a facade, it's a really interesting structure because it's a structure that you can actually only see in 3D in some sense because it's vertical, so you need the 3D data. But what you're looking to inspect, or the surface you're looking to inspect, is actually 2D. It's just the facade. And so the two things actually lead to a very interesting combination, which is that you've got a 3D object that you really want to inspect in 2D. And so what happens is you've got the model and you want to be able to look at it and you're trying to actually find a way of like going up and down. And the process becomes slightly clunky because you've got to click many different buttons to be able to move around. And let's say you're a structural engineer or you're a qualified wall external inspector looking to inspect this, or let's say you're a drone service provider helping with this particular project. How do you actually do this work? So one of the things that we've looked at Hammer Missions is essentially a facade mode. So you click on the facade mode, and now your 3D model is locked in orientation. It will not move and allow you to actually very easily go through the facade. So once again, I'm going to do this again. Basically, we have a mode in which you can actually lock the orientation of your 3D object so that you are facing it. There we go. I'm facing the 3D objects, but I'm only interested in the facade. And so we're going to basically go into our facade mode. And now we basically can inspect this at any distance we want without being concerned that we're going to accidentally move the model out of place. So what I'm going to do now is, just like I was a drone, I'm going to go through this facade and I'm going to basically look for deficiencies and I'm going to look for issues. And so basically you can tell that I can move my model very easily and I can scan this facade as if I was looking at this facade from the viewpoint of a drone. And so I can basically go through and I can do this workflow for the entire facade. And if I see something that doesn't look quite right, let's say, well, I see all these patches of missing paint and something doesn't quite look right over here. Well, I see a lot of patches of missing paint, and that's an issue in itself. And maybe I want to be able to understand what to do with it. But let's say there was a particular deficiency here. Let's say I noticed a crack, I noticed a spall, I noticed a whole bunch of different types of deficiencies. I can just click on that particular area of interest and I can bring up all of the photographs that show me that area of interest. So I click on that and then voila, I have a photo that shows me those areas of interest. And as I see those areas of interest in my area of interest mode, I can go in and create a tag for missing paint, or I can create a tag for whatever the deficiency might be. So basically go in there and just tag the issue and it gets marked up. And so that's really neat. And as I'm doing that, I can still go back to my facade and I can continue my inspection. And if I come across anything that is of interest, I can once again, click on that particular part of the facade and then get to the image very quickly and then create a tag for any unsafe condition that I might see. Now, with the existing condition I'm trying to find, it's not just about finding those conditions, it's also then knowing how many of those conditions there are. And so what I can do is I can actually go in and tag this entire facade, and that's what's been done over here in this particular project. And basically, I have AI that helps me out in inspecting this facade. And so what it's able to do is it's able to also then identify the similar looking deficiencies. So if I've marked up missing paint, it's going to find other instances of missing paint and it's going to make my life a lot easier because now all I have to do is to ensure that I've got all instances of missing paint captured. And so maybe it's not going to capture everything because, as you can tell, it missed this particular one. Well, in that case, I can help it out and I can sort of say, well, here's a missing paint that you have missed, Mr. AI. And so you basically go in there and you create your own tag for the missing area. And the idea here is that as you've done that, you basically are reducing the laborious nature of going through every single photo, and you're trying to aid yourself with tools like 3D to give you an overall picture and tools like AI to go through the imagery with you. And that really accelerates the inspection process. And it also means that, you have another pair of eyes, quote unquote eyes, looking at the data alongside you and reduces the risk of human error, which I'm all for, human expertise, and I think that people are great and people can do some really unbelievable things. But when you're doing manual tasks that are repetitive, fatigue does kick in, and we live in a time where there's so many distractions at any given point in time that it's always useful to have an extra pair of eyes, an extra pair of mitigation looking at the data alongside you. So if I wanted to then quantify, well, what is the total extent of all missing paint in this particular facade? All I have to do is to go in and look at my deficiency rating. So I'm going to get rid of these photographs for a second. So let's get rid of that. And basically, I go in and look at the quantification for this. And what I notice is that AI is now telling me that there is 591 observations of missing paints, and it's also giving me a way to sort of look at when all of them have been AI assessed. It also gives me the total square meters or the total square feet of how much of missing paint is on this building. So if you can imagine, you have to take on this job to understand, well, how much missing paint do I have, and how much what do I need to budget for to be able to fix this job? You now have AI that's actually gone in and marked up all these areas of missing paint. And as you can see, there are all these labels that AI generates for you to very quickly and easily see the areas of missing paints. So basically, what you end up with is a new way of looking at the data, which is all about using tools to supplement the process. And you're able to very quickly and easily quantify the different issues, and with the help of new modes that allow you to easily navigate between different parts of the facade, you can look at the data very quickly and very easily. So, well, hopefully this video was helpful in terms of like how you would go about inspecting a facade. Once you've done your inspection, you can generate reports and you can look at what that data looks like in the form of a report. We do cover the whole end-to-end process for this particular type of workflow in another video. I do want to give a big shout out to David and Anand from Skydata UAV in Florida, who actually captured this project and made it available for us to be able to use it in this fashion of educating people on what you are able to do with facade inspections today. I think we definitely need a lot more people to openly share and propagate the message that drones are a great way to do these sorts of inspections, which challenge the traditional method and essentially allow for a more efficient and productive system, which we highly need to make our buildings safer and our buildings better. So thanks so much for listening. We'll catch you in the next video as always. for Knowledge Hub.